Is Mz.Diva. Yeah, you notice me with my glasses, but here they are. They're pretty. Yeah, thank you if you like them. Well, since Christmas is coming up, I'll be reading a book called The Santa Claus. And it always have a short summary on the back of it, so I will be reading it. When Santa Claus accidentally tumbles off the roof, Scott, Calvin, and his son Charlie don't know what to do. That is, until they find a small business card in Santa's pocket that reads, "If something should happen to me, put on my suit." The reindeer will know what to do. So Scott and Charlie take off on an amazing adventure in Santa's sleigh, delivering gifts and spreading cheers. But little do the Calvins realize, once you're Santa for life. Take a minute to pause that. Let's start. This is the title. This is Santa Claus. I guess it's his son. But this is the guy that we're going to be reading about. Chapter 1. Charlie Calvin slumped in the back seat of his mother's ear. Wait, sorry. Even though I still got glasses on, I still can't read. Ain't that the same? Alright. Charlie Calvin slumped in the back seat of his mother's car. As usual, they were parked outside his father's house, waiting because, as usual, his dad was late. "I just hope I can leave early," thought Charlie. It was hard enough spending weekends with Dad, but Christmas Eve, the worst. Charlie glanced at the single string of Christmas lights over Dad's front door. Typically, every other house on the street was aglow with bright, blinking holiday decorations, angels, reindeer, even flamingos wearing Santa hats. But not Dad's house. One pathetic string of lights, and they were falling down. Charlie's sign his father definitely didn't have it together. At last, another car pulled up behind him. Scott Calvin got out and gave them a cheery wave. With a sigh, Charlie waved back half-heartedly and followed his mother out of the car. "Laura, Charlie, come in," said Scott when they reached the porch. "Hey, sport, why don't you go look under the tree? There might be some things there for you." And like I said, well, I didn't already say this, but I'm saying it right now. If you have this book, Santa Claus, it's by Daphne Skinner, and it's called The Santa Claus. Yeah, I already introduced it at the beginning, but if you want to, you can follow along. I think we'll be reading until long as we can. Probably at the end, if you want to, probably into chapter 5, because the chapter 5 have pictures that you can look at. But so let's get started on page 2. Well, actually, this is page 4. Charlie was glad to get away before his dad and his mom started bickering. He knew it was only a matter of time, but he could hardly believe what he found in the living room. A little fake tree with spindly blue branches. Under it, their lumpy packages wrapped in brown paper. Pathetic. "So what do you think, sport?" his father asked when Charlie came back into the hallway. Charlie tried not to sound too disappointed. "There aren't that many presents there," he mumbled. "Well, Santa hasn't come yet," said Scott. "Neil doesn't believe in Santa," said Charlie. Neil was his mom's new husband. Well, Neil's head comes to a point. Scott snapped. He couldn't stand Neil. "He's a doctor," said Charlie. Personally, he thought Neil was cool. Scott snorted. "He isn't a doctor, sport. He's a physicist." Just then a horn honked outside. Neil Scott turned his ex-wife angrily. "Did that jerk tell Charlie there was no Santa?" he whispered. "He only said that Santa Claus is more like a state of mind than a real person." Charlie's mother answered, "Kinda, Neil." "Like Neil," said Scott. "We tried to give Charlie a firm grasp on reality." Laura replied a little too loudly. "Now that's a good idea," answered Scott, raising his voice too. "We wouldn't want our kid running around using his imagination now, would we?" This is page 4, because they start this book off with page 3. So, yeah. But I'm happy tomorrow's Friday, so. Also, I forgot to do what I want for Christmas, but actually I will be doing after this video, so check out the video. And before posting this video on YouTube, I will do what I want for Christmas first, and then I will post that one first, and then I will put the link in the description box on this video because I'm posting this one last. Okay, let's keep reading. Charlie could feel his stomach knotting up. Why do you guys always have to fight? He asked unhappily. We're not fighting, sports, said Scott. We're arguing. You see, Mom and Neil don't believe in Santa Claus because they're very naughty. A wicked gleam came to his eyes. They're going to get a lump of coal in their stockings. I don't know, said Charlie. Seems kind of babyish to believe in that stuff. Babyish, exclaimed Scott. I believe in Santa, and I'm not a baby. The horn honked again. You better go, Scott said to Laura. We wouldn't want to keep Dr. Brilliant waiting. Do I have to stay? Charlie whispered back. He wished he could leave with her. Will you pick me up tomorrow? Of course I will. Early? You'll be fine, she promised. Charlie wasn't so sure. A few hours later, Charlie was even less sure. First, his father burned the turkey so badly it looked like a flame broiled meteorite. Then they had to drive around for ages searching for a place to eat. Charlie didn't know, and this could tell you and all, so yeah. Which was harder? Finding an open restaurant on Christmas Eve or trying to talk to his dad. His first big mistake was mentioning Neil. You know, Neil's a really good cook, he said. Yeah, and he does his own dental work, snapped Scott. You don't like him much, do you, Dad? Asked Charlie. Scott's tone of voice softened a little. Oh, it's okay, he said. There's just something about that guy that makes me want to lash out. Irrational, said Charlie. Scott looked at him. Where do you hear that from, Neil? I learned a lot from him, said Charlie. He listens to me. Yeah, but then he charges you for it, said Scott. Pulling up to a restaurant, it was closed. I listen, he said, don't I? Charlie just looked at him. Scott pulled away from the restaurant. You know, Charlie, he said, you could learn something from me, too, if you came to visit more than just every other weekend. Charlie didn't say anything. What was there to say? We had a great time, Scott said. Charlie decided to set his father straight. We never have a great time, he said flatly. How can you say that? Didn't I take you to the Bears games last week? That was fun. No, it wasn't, said Charlie. I don't really like football. I like soccer. Okay, I have a comment on this page I just read. And if you didn't hear, they rewind back. But yeah. He was like, Charlie didn't say anything. What was there to say? We had a great time, Scott said. Charlie decided to set his father straight. Set your father straight, but just know when you want something, he'll set you straight. We never had a great time, he said flatly. At least he's telling the truth, though. How can you say that? Didn't I take you to the Bears game last weekend? That was fun. Like, for real? Or are you just going to say that wasn't fun and you know your dad spent money? It might not have been that much money, but money is money. And money, you don't get money like that. You have to earn money, so, yeah. And then it says, no, it wasn't Charlie. How you don't, said Charlie, I don't even like football, I like soccer. How you don't know that your son liked soccer and you took him to the football game? If you really want to impress your child, take him to the soccer game. Soccer, Scott said as if it were a life-threatening disease. It's not even American. Only wimps play soccer. I joined the team last month, Charlie told him. You did, said Scott. I didn't know that. That's because you don't want to know, thought Charlie. Scott parked the car in front of the family-style restaurant. It's open, he cried. We're in luck. Charlie winced. I don't want to eat here, he told his father. Come on, said Scott in an extra jolly voice. Everybody likes this. Disaster, Charlie muttered as they walked inside. Naturally, his dad didn't even hear him. After dinner, they drove home in silence. Charlie changed into his pajamas and climbed into bed. Relieved that the evening was almost over, then Scott announced he was going to read aloud. A story, asked Charlie, surprised. His father never read to him. A poem, said Scott. He started reading an old poem that began, "'Twas the night before Christmas." It made Charlie drowsy as his eyes closed. As they did, his father read. "When out on the lawn there arose such a clatter, I sprang from my bed to see what was the matter." Charlie's eyes opened. "What's that?" he asked. "What's what?" This is page 7. We're on page 8 now. "Arose such a clatter," said Charlie. "What is that?" Scott smiled. "Not a ladder," he said. "A clatter. A big noise. It means there came a big noise." He stroked Charlie's forehead. "Time for you to go to sleep, sport," he said. But Charlie had a few questions. "How do reindeer fly?" he asked. "They don't have any wings. And if Santa's so fat, how can he get down the chimneys besides? What about the people who don't have fireplaces? How does he get into their houses?" "Look, sport," said Scott. "Believing in something means you just believe in it. Reindeer fly because that's how Santa get around. You can't stop believing in things just because they don't make any sense." This was a new idea to Charlie. "So, Dad," he said, "you really do believe in Santa?" "Yes, Sport," said his father, "I do." Charlie's eyes fell shut. "Then we better leave some cookies and milk for him," he said sleepily, just in case. Scott grinned. "Now you're talking," he said. He felt better than he had all day. Page 8. That's chapter 2. Chapter 2. I'll just be reading this page and then I'll be done. Later that night, the only sounds in the house were the hum of the refrigerator and the rumble of Scott's snoring. Charlie was fast asleep until a loud thump from the roof woke him. He lay in bed listening. There it was again. Charlie got out of bed and found his way to Scott's room. "Dad," he said, shaking his father's awake. "What is it?" Scott asked, his voice somewhere between a croak and a yawn. His eyes stayed closed. "I heard a clatter." The thumping noise came again. "There," Charlie said. "Don't you hear it? A clatter, a big noise coming from outside." "Dad, I'm scared." "Dad, I'm scared." "It's nothing," snuffled Scott, turning over. "Probably just the wind. Go back to sleep." Then the noise came again. This time it sounded as if a high-dosed heavy barrels were dropping onto the roof. The house shook. Scott's eyes flew up and he jumped out of bed. He motioned to Charlie to be quiet. The ceiling cracked. They looked at each other. "Maybe it's Santa," said Charlie. "Not now, Charlie," said Scott. He headed for the door. Now, if you just listen to that, what I want you to do is subscribe, like, and comment. For the comment, I want you to comment on what you think what will happen next. Okay. Bye, guys. Catching live with Mz.Diva.